Hey everyone, hey, Facebook family. So excited to share with you today. So I've been inspired to share with you all about surfing the frequency of freedom. I was in the water yesterday paddling, and it came to me. This is what I need to share. And we're going to be talking about embodiment. I know there's a lot of talk about embodiment, but a lot of it's like still up here in the head. And I'm going to share with you really how do you ground it, why frequency is important, why it's your number one asset, why if you can have all the best business strategies in the world, the best team, you can have just be amazing at what you're here to share with the world. But if you're not focused on frequency, you're just not going to get the same results. So, hey Mel, hey Alan, send you guys so much love. So my intention today is to serve you at the highest. We're going to dive deep. We're going to go so we're talking about collapsing timelines, frequency, embodiment, and my intention is to activate within you your soul memory of how powerful you are. And this is for you if you're a leader, if you're an impact-driven leader, and you are here to share with the world. You're here to serve the planet. This is for you if you know how to drive, you know how to get results, you know that you have amazing gifts with the world, but sometimes it can get exhausting. And you're ready to try a spiritual way of creating your life and growing your business from a place of less effort, a place of more flow. So excited. When I first started my company, Tara Maxwell, I'm living here right now in Costa Rica with my family, but I was living in the U.S. and my first intention was to serve. I do energy work and mindset and to shift the subconscious. And it came from, I had so many blocks. And even though on the surface it looked like I was getting results, I finished my Ph.D., built in the first 6 months, once I had a business strategy, a 6-figure business, but I was exhausted. And so what I learned and what actually brought us here to living a life of freedom here in Costa Rica was frequency. And I remember in Maryland when I first started my business, I had lost some of the juicier parts of me. Like maybe some of you guys can relate in the process of getting married and having a family, having kids, and being a serious adult. And the process of like writing my dissertation, like I was, before I got married, I was super adventurous and I traveled the world. I was a cave diver and I loved to snowboard, but a lot of that stuff went by the wayside. And actually what activated the frequency of freedom for us was first I started to play more. And I can remember when I first started my business and I was wanting to share my message on social media, my life was pretty boring. Driving the kids around, carpooling, working, and I just, it's like, what happened to me? And so I set an intention to bring back that aspect of me that was playful, that was adventurous. And it was that frequency of play. I started paddleboarding. We lived in Annapolis, Maryland. I started paddleboarding and really falling in love with where I lived at the time, even though the East Coast was not my vibe. And if you guys are watching and you're from the East Coast, not to disparage that, but it just wasn't for me. I'm from the West Coast, and because I'm an empath, there's just a lot of heavy energy there. But it was that frequency, and I can remember my husband, he's had a corporate executive job, and his company, he was in a place of, there was a lot of transition in the company. And it was this one year where usually he would get a huge bonus every year, like $100,000, $80,000. And this year, because of the transition in the company, that bonus didn't come. And so we started to was talking to different headhunters about different jobs. We had invested so much in my business. So here we are, the bonus didn't come, $100,000 in debt, because we had expected like this was going to come and that would wipe it out as we had invested in the business. And what we did is, instead of focusing on the problem, we focused on what we were creating. We focused on the vibration, the frequency of freedom. And I can remember just having this idea of I wanted to live in a house overlooking the ocean where I could hear the waves. There was a lot of light and laughter. And I remember being with my husband, we were making love, and I was lying on the bed and imagining, like in my body, imagining that we weren't there in the suburbs in the East Coast. Hey, we were in this house with lots of light and laughter and overlooking the ocean. And it was actually that frequency and the powerful, tapping into this powerful sacred energy that catapulted us, because we locked into that frequency in the body, catapulted us to living our dream here in Costa Rica. And I'll share with you guys, this is, we manifested. I don't know if you guys could see the ocean over there, but it's, and it wasn't, I didn't even know it was Costa Rica. I didn't have the details. I didn't have the details of this house, but it was the frequency of it. So I'm sharing that with you because it's frequency first. And it was the playing more and being in the body. And so I want to talk about this freedom code, this frequency of freedom. Like when we talk about frequency, a lot of times, maybe you guys you're familiar already with the law of attraction, and that like attracts like. And frequency is like, you can oscillate, right? Maybe you're having like a high moment, and then you might go a little bit, but you're on this frequency. When we're talking about frequency, you're locking in to, you want to match the frequency of your vision. And a lot, what's required for that is that you connect to that timeline. So this is a little bit deep here. Imagining connecting to your future self that's already living that vision in an alternate dimension, an alternate reality. And by connecting to your future self and tapping into the feelings of what does your future self, like how does it feel if this is your vision, if you're living your vision right now, what are the emotions? What is that vibration and feeling it? And then you want to clear any distortions in your field, any thoughts that are incongruent. So for instance, if your future self, like whether you're wanting to grow your business to 100,000 monthly revenue, or perhaps it's like you want to be able to travel the world with your family, or maybe it's calling in, having this business, but also calling in love. Whatever, it doesn't matter what it is that you're creating in your vision. When I'm talking about embodiment, is that you want to lock in and ground so that every step, every movement, every moment to moment, you are showing up as the embodiment of your future self. Now, I get that can take time. And so the thing about frequency, and I shared this in a Facebook post a little bit yesterday, and why I felt called to share with you. So many of you guys know that I surf. I surf a lot. I surf every day. It's my passion. And I was in the water paddling. It was a beautiful sunny day. The water right now is just this clear clear blue. You could see the sandy ocean floor. And when you're looking, you're spotting your wave. The thing is that you want to paddle at the same speed of the wave. And if your board is positioned properly and you're properly positioned, you're balanced on your board, and you're able to paddle at the same speed of the wave, you pop up and you catch the wave. But if you're not, if you're going a little bit slower and the wave comes, it just, it goes over you. Or if you go too fast, then you get in front of the wave and then it collapses on top of you. And so that is why the frequency is so important. And so it's the same thing with whatever is showing up right now in your life, in your business. It's being able to tune into what is the frequency. The thing is that frequency, another word for that is identity. I'll say that again. Another word for frequency is identity. In the sense of, if you imagine yourself, like, and let's say in the next year, in the next 2 to 5 years, in what you are here to create. And another thing to be clear about is that I'm not talking about just manifesting a car, manifesting a house, manifesting X amount of money. All of that comes. But what I'm sharing with you is that it's being able to tap into your soul-aligned vision. So this is the vision, this is the timeline that you, as a soul, that you are here to create. It's the reason you are here on earth. It's what your mission is. And if you're watching this Facebook Live, if you're watching the replay, there's a reason that we're in this conversation. So I'm not talking about the world's idea of what your dream should be. We have so many programs that, you have the big house, or you have the car, or you have the partner and 2.5 kids. Like, these are programs about what your dream is. And I get it, because that was, we were very much entrenched in this American dream when we were living in the U.S. until we left the matrix and just started to delayer and unpack, like, all of these programs that society that just has been laid upon us. So first of all, it's really important it's critical to get connected to what is your soul vision. What are you here to create from a place of service, from a place of serving humanity? And once you have tapped into that and you have clarity, you don't have to have all of the answers. And just as I shared with you how we manifested living here in Costa Rica, I didn't have the whole big picture. I knew that I was here to serve. I know that many of you might know, when I did my doctoral work, it was on generational trauma. And how did things get passed down from generation to generation, and how do we heal from that? So I've always, even since a little girl, looked at how kind of crazy it is in the world and how adults show up, and how do we find joy? How do we find peace? Like, what's this all about? What's this all for? And so I've always been obsessed with seeking knowledge. And so with this idea of you connect to your soul-aligned vision, and then you tap into, like, what is that timeline? So when I say timelines, it's knowing that in a quantum universe, there are infinite possibilities. There are infinite realities. And there might be even just like little slight differences in each one. And so you get to choose. You get to choose affluence. You get to choose freedom. You get to choose abundance. You get to choose love. We have free will choice. And one of the things that's really important about the work I do with my clients, I work with leaders and teach them how to grow their business. I'm not a business coach. And I work behind the scenes energetically, shifting the mindset, working with my galactic guides, elevating, upgrading your operating system so that you create from a place of ease and flow, because it's from that frequency you are able to have massive impact, not from the place of struggle, not from the place of pushing, from effort, from ego. So this really is about awakening fully to who you are as a conscious creator. And I believe that the business, I love working with entrepreneurs because, and of course I'm an entrepreneur, because we get so much feedback. It's just a beautiful vehicle of growth. And maybe you guys can relate. Give me a yes if you can relate to growing, and also even through the setbacks and the challenges, growing in your life, in your business, in your company because of your business. So when I want to talk about, I shared with you that I was going to talk about collapsing timelines. So there's infinite realities, infinite timelines in a quantum universe. And so you choose which one. What is it that you are here to create? And you connect to your future self through meditation, through just tapping in, eyes closed, like really feeling into it. Like, what is this dream that you have? And then you gather intelligence. You gather data. Like, how is it that your future self is showing up? How does it feel to be living your vision, and bringing that into the now? And then as another important part of embodiment, because I shared with you, we're going to talk about embodiment. So you can have this information, right? You might say, okay, this is how I feel. This is what it looks like. I know what my gift is. But how do you bring it into the current reality so you materialize it? And what you want to do is, first of all, it's so important, vibrational work. What I mean by that is every moment, every hour, tuning your frequency so that you're aligned with your vision. It really is as simple as, I'm sure you've heard the metaphor before of of a radio. And if you want to be on the channel of your vision, then you get on that channel. And often what happens is, if you're on the channel of this is hard, or on the channel of struggle or drama or gossip or putting out fires in the business, or reactive, or hiring people that perhaps they're not trustworthy, or they're not performing as well, like whatever it is, whatever you're experiencing right now in your life, that's the channel that you're on. And so that's why frequency is your number one asset. It's learning how to master your frequency so that you get on the channel of what you desire and it materializes. And I've seen this in my own life, and I've seen this in working with so many clients who are leaders, whether they're doubling their business, we're creating, one of my clients, her goal was to create a 7-figure business, but not from a place of pushing. So many leaders are high achievers and know how to push, but it's just not sustainable. And it's so much easier and aligned with your soul to first focus on frequency and to call in the clients that you're meant to serve, to call in the team that's aligned with your business soul vision. And so it's not even just the business, it's even your family. Like, what are you creating? What kind of environment, and what is the reality that you're creating with your family and in your love life and in your health? All of these things are connected. I focus on the energetics, and and teaching you how to embody the frequency, and all of these other aspects, they also shift because you're focused on your frequency. So with vibe work, one thing that you can do is every hour. In fact, if I have these affluence codes that you can practice saying every hour. So if anyone's interested, you can just send me a PM and I'll share with you. And just say them every hour. They sound like they're mantras, but it's light encoded. It's light encoded language. And working with my galactic guides, and what it does is it shifts you internally so that you get aligned with the frequency of the universe, that you get aligned with affluence. That's why they're called affluence codes. So you're doing vibe work. This is the second. And then third is that you want to be clearing any distortions in your field. Just as we talked about a radio channel, maybe you're kind of on it, but you're hearing static. There's distortions. And distortions can come up around limiting beliefs. If you have a conscious thought, like I cannot afford that, or it's hard. I mean, just things like that, they're not congruent. Your soul doesn't think it's hard. Your soul doesn't have fear. And so all of these are like these distortions are human programs. So you want to clear that so that you are being. You are being. When we talk about being, frequency is being. Being. In terms of the verb to be. And then once you've done that is knowing that it is done. And something that I do, I'll share with you all, is like when I'm surfing, and you could do this, like my mentor talks about, she does this when she's walking. She calls it activated walking. And for me, this is a practice that I have when I'm surfing, but or you can use it like if you're at the gym working out, that every time you take a step, and for me it's every time I take a paddle, if I have something that I'm creating, like if I'm calling in my soul mate clients, imagining like you really like each action is dedicated to them, feeling their excitement as their lives transform, as their businesses grow, like just feeling all of that, and just feeling your own gratitude of your creation. So it's tapping into that future timeline, and in your body, you can also do this making love, like in your body, feeling it, feeling the gratitude, feeling the excitement, feeling the confidence, all the things that you would feel if this was true right now. So those are the steps of embodiment. And the thing is that so I work out actually in about 30 minutes or so. My trainer is going to come visit, and I work out with a private trainer 3 times a week, and we do this workout called foundation training. And the truth is that when I first started working out with him, I thought it was super boring. I like a lot of action, and you're just standing there holding these poses. And what he's taught me, because he teaches you the biomechanics of the body, of posture and moving, and it actually is really, it looks easy, but it's actually really hard, really challenging. And the thing is, and the reason I'm sharing this with you, is that over the past couple years in working out with him, it's like really simple adjustments in terms of even how you bend forward, or how you pick something up, even if I'm putting my makeup on, how the hips are hinged, or body movement, like when I'm surfing, that I'm using my hips instead of using my arms. The thing is that we work out for an hour 3 times a week. Really simple. He has helped me adjust. It's such a great analogy to frequency, because what happens is that with these 3 hours a week with him, I have found that like when I'm surfing and there's 6 seconds to get up on a board and to take that wave, I am not thinking The mind is not, there's not conscious thought. My body knows what to do, and it gets up, and I'm surfing the wave. I have seen over the past couple of years in working out with them that my body naturally is holding the posture and where my back is, my neck, the hips, because of this work that I've done with them. And it's the same when you're working with your frequency, when I'm working with clients, because you can say mantras, or you can meditate, or you can go listen to a webinar, or work with an energy worker. But then what happens when there's a fire that goes out in your business, or you feel disappointed in your love life, or there's a family crisis at home, and as much as we want to be, we're sovereign beings and we're living in a higher dimension, sometimes things still happen in our life. And so how are you showing up? How consistently can you stay at the frequency of who you are, of what you're here, of who you are as a soul? And so by learning how to master your frequency, how to embody it so that you're not thinking about it anymore. It's how you show up, it's how you are being, coming from a place of open heart, coming from a place of love. Something happens and you're able to quickly shift the thoughts. Feel it, if you're feeling in a funk, feeling it, not bypassing it. But as the emotions go through, being able to return to the frequency of your desire. And yeah, it's definitely about the consistency. Yeah, and it's training. And that's the thing, is that, when I worked out with a private trainer, it wasn't like something I worked out with him for a week and then I got this mastery. It's taken me a couple of years, and now there's even minor adjustments. And so it's really about mastering your frequency, mastering your power as a conscious creator. And one of the things I wanted to share with you is that I shared with you some, if you guys want these affluence codes, just in terms of this light and coded language to read every day to help you adjust your frequency, send me a PM and I'll share it with you. I received these affluence codes. So I'm the founder of the affluence codes. It's something that I received a few years ago. But the thing is that I was not yet ready. I had not yet embodied them. And I've done a lot of work over the deep inner work, looking at my shit, looking at the ego, transmuting it, falling in love with myself, falling in love with my husband, forgiving, just so much deep work. And last spring I went to, actually in October and in spring I went to Peru, and again, a lot of deep work. And when I was in Peru, I received just like full-on energy transmission of these affluence codes. And what I was told is that I'm here to share this with humanity. And what these affluence codes are, it's kind of like, it's activating keys within you so that you fully come online as a conscious creator. So these are tools, keys, assisting you in fully awakening. And so even over the past 2 months, there was more integration, because just as I'm sharing with you and talking about embodiment, that's also been my work. I received these codes, but then it's also been, embodiment. Recently I was working with the surrender code, and one of it is being able to surrender to whatever is showing up, to surrender to the universe, because it's through that we get back into flow, and we're able to call in our vision. So these affluence codes are something that I work with our clients in a year-long mastermind. And the vision is it's assisting them in mastering their frequency so that they're able to show up as leaders, to have the impact and the abundance and the freedom, and hold that frequency, that and then they're able to, as I support them in activating these affluence codes, because they're already within you, but most of the time they're dormant, or it's like they might be on a little bit, but they're just it's not consistent. So it's activating these affluence codes within you and then teaching you how to embody them, so that over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, you look back and this is who you are. This is who you've become. You have massively shifted your identity to align to who you are as a soul. So if you're feeling called, if you want to dive deeper on it, I recently did a 3-hour workshop on the affluence codes, and it's my gift to you. A little alarm for my own frequency adjustment. It's a powerful channeled activation, and it's a 3-hour workshop diving deep on these affluence codes. So if you're feeling called, you can type in below affluence codes, and I'll share with you the link, and you can watch at your leisure. And I've had many people responded back after watching the replay, and I've had some really powerful shifts. So I'm honored to be able to share that and to help you shift wherever you are in your journey. So sending you guys so much love, and for those that are watching the replay, also just I'll be sharing the link also here below. Sending you guys so much love, and remember, you absolutely can live your dream now.